Hello, my name is Rob, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my approach to my week one submission to Weekly Beats. Weekly Beats being a website where you write a song in a week, submit it at the end of the week, and we all listen to each other's songs, and it's really cool. It's a nice supportive community. So I've kind of got a multi-pronged approach to this. I have high-level goals. These are like what I'm trying to do this whole Weekly Beats thing for. Then I have weekly goals, and then I basically have like the things I learned. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about in this video. Going to talk about the song I did real quick, how I did it, my workflow and process. I'm a big fan of when creatives share their workflow process, and how that aligns with their goals. So something I want to do in return as well. And then I'm going to talk about what I learned. So yeah, just jump right in. I submitted for the first week, and my high level goals here, you can see I kind of listed them out here in the submission I did. First and foremost, I want to explore the shoegaze genre. This is a genre of music I haven't really written in, but I've kind of worked around or parallel to. So, I've done metal stuff. I've done a ton of chiptune, ambient stuff, math rock. So never specifically shoegaze, but I'm interested to try it for a lot because of the how much it relies on effects. And that ties into another one of my goals, which is exploring my guitar effects and tones, as well as some of the other gear I have. I have some pretty decent gear, but I tend to spend an hour or two diving into it and find something I like and then don't really explore it anymore. And so I want to do that some more, as well as incorporating chiptune, or at least a synth sound. So as I mentioned, I've been doing chiptune for years and years and years. And I would like to incorporate that. The obvious comparisons here, like Depreciation Guild was a chiptune shoegaze band, even a little bit of Noise Waves with more of a post-rock sound, but we'll see what happens. And then I'm focusing lyrics to be dark fantasy themed. Obviously lyrics, that means there's going to be vocals. Vocals are another goal. I'm not a great singer. I haven't done a ton of singing, and I kind of struggle writing vocal melodies, so that's something I want to work on. And then I have weekly goals. So I kind of write everything down in a Notion doc. I'll pull it up right here so you can see that. So what I do is, when I'm like not at a computer, I have this available on my phone, and I just kind of throw ideas down. So for example, I was literally cleaning the cat litter box, and I heard this song, and it has like a reverse reverb or delay intro with guitar, and then it has singing over it, and I'm like, oh, I should try that. And here's some quick ideas. I literally typed this out while I was in the basement cleaning the cat litter box. So that's like a idea for the song, but then like a goal for that week, might be something like, okay, let's get my M8 to work with my DAW via MIDI. So what's nice about this is if I sit down and I have like a song idea and a goal idea, maybe centered around my gear, or my DAW, it's so much easier just to like pump out a song. I have a limited schedule, limited time to do this, so I really have to like lock in. I only spend about an hour each day working on this, and not every day. So yeah, dropping ideas in there, trying to tackle them each week. This week's goal, just let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can write a song in a week and knock it out. And I did a shoegaze song, and I feel like I accomplished that. I'm not going to play the whole thing here. I'll play clips, but you can check it out over on Weekly Beats. So let's talk about how I did it. So primarily, I recorded guitars, I recorded vocals, I recorded bass, and then I sequenced drums and the chiptune sound. Vocals done through a condenser mic with a vocal processor called the Perform VE by TC Helicon. I used a little bit of gender bender in that, and some they call it like their auto tune thing. I forgot what they call it, reactive tune or something like that. 4 tracks of guitar, which was kind of like a thing I learned a little bit about Shoegaze, was a lot of guitar. I'm using the HX Stomp pedal. It's a multi-effects modeler pedal. And so what I did here is these 2 guitars, left and right, panned hard left and right, same patch, but the left one was bridge pickup and the right one was middle and bridge pickup split. So slightly different sound, but you can see that here. It kind of separates them a little bit, and on top of being stereoed, makes it just a slightly different sound. That's a patch I made called Shoegaze. Where is it? Yeah, Shoegazer. So here's my patch for my HX Stomp. So a compressor into a boost, a nice little booster into a distortion, into a Fender Twin simulation. And then after that, after the amp, I have my vintage delay and the plateau reverb. So that's that patch. The next one, same thing again, new patch, but same thing, panned hard left, right, bridge pickup and middle and bridge pickup. But this is a patch I made a couple years ago for a metal project I do called Sadrith Mora, which is kind of like a dream metal type sound. So I think it's modeled after the Angle amps. I'm not too familiar with them. High gain, lots of reverb. Here's what that sounds like. Like, you know, concrete tunnel sound, right? But together they sound pretty great. Nice and big. And that was kind of what I was going for again, for the Shoegaze sound. Bass guitar, just my cheap Squire P bass, again through my HX Stomp, which can simulate bass amps as well. Pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah, really old strings on that guy. And then chiptune, this I did, it's a sampled LSDJ. It's just the basic 3 pulse waves, you know, the 12, 25, and 50. But I have them over on Reason. A little sneak peek, one of my future goals is to move all my stuff into Reaper, move out of Reason. But this is what that sounds like. Oh, I don't have Reason open. Let me open that. So yeah, right now I have them sampled into the grain sampler in Reason, but again, I want to move away from that. And then I'm using chorus and reverb, obviously, and like a little pitch bending, like right that. Pretty straightforward. And then sequence drums, using the Addicting Drummer 2 plugin. Yeah. You know, all together, a little quick peek. Drums are really buried, which is a hallmark of the sound, but it's tough. I like my drums up front. Cool. So that's that. That was my process. You know, it was really just like, let's get this all down. Let's see how this all sounds. A lot of this isn't a typical approach for me, so there was some new things learned here. First up, a lot of guitar tracks for me. I usually just do 2 because I pull my guitars back a little bit and let the synth take the lead. My timer's telling me I'm out of time, so I got to wrap this up. But the Shoegaze sound, you know, it's just a wall of sound. So more guitars. What else? The drums are buried. You know, I mentioned that's not something I'm a huge fan of. I might mess around with that and pull them up a little bit more. I think they're a little too far back. You really only get the snare and the kick. Cool. I think that's it. I think that's all I want to talk about. But this is my approach. I'm continuing to use Reaper. I've already started working on week 2, and I've already changed things around a bit. A little sneak peek, I will not be using amp sims anymore. Well, primarily won't be using them, but I'll talk about that next week. Cool. Good luck, everyone.